Hey guys, and welcome into Getting Wild and Flying High, free NHL and MLB picks. I'm Terry, and I am here to break down the Sunday slate, which I will start with right now. We will jump into the NHL, and I'm going to do it a little bit differently, a little bit of a quicker breakdown here for Sunday's games. Not going to go game by game. I'm going to go game by game, but I'm not going to go in depth with the odds or anything here. Starting with the first game up, Rangers and Washington. Rangers 7-2-1 in their last 10, playing great hockey for the most part. Washington 1-4-2 in their last seven. They will be missing the playoffs this year. Seven of their last nine over, 6.5. Washington 10-2 in the last 12 at home against the Rangers. They've definitely had success at home against the Rangers. This is a great price for New York. However, I'm not confident enough to make them a play here. So it's ultimately going to be a pass, but a lean with New York in this one. Boston and St. Louis. Boston 9-1 in their last 10 games. Continue to find ways to win. I had them up on the site as a premium play for Saturday night, and even though I kind of want to stay away from the St. Louis games, when I bet against St. Louis, they win, and when I bet for them, they get blown out by Nashville. Now they're at home here against Boston, who will have Allmark in net in this one. And I'm taking Boston minus 1.5, plus money here. Boston 4-2 in the last six meetings between the teams. Three of the four wins by multiple goals. This Boston team uh, continues to win games. Pasternak anytime goal cashed today as well. And depending on the price for that, I'll be going right back to that Pasternak anytime goal and Boston minus 1.5 in that one. Islanders and Carolina. Islanders 5-2-1 now in their last eight. Carolina 2-3-1 in their last six. The Hurricanes have dominated the Islanders for a long time. 12-2 in the last 14 meetings between the teams. Islanders are off a loss. Carolina's off a win on Saturday night here. Uh, but the Islanders, those two wins that they beat Carolina, were in Carolina. They've won their last two trips to Carolina here. Islanders as a big dog here, uh, and I'm going to take them. I'm not high in this Carolina team. I think this Islanders team beats Carolina in seven games if they were to face in a playoff series. Similar teams, I see a lower scoring game, but I'm not going to go with the total here. I'm just going to take the Islanders at a big plus price in this one. Ottawa Senators and Columbus Blue Jackets. I was on the over in the Ottawa game. I was on the over in the Columbus and Florida game. Um, Florida scored seven and got the over themselves. Ottawa was not able to beat Ilya Samsonov in a 3-0 Toronto win. And now we're seeing 6.5s and sevens. We'll bring it up here. Um, yeah, mostly sevens in this one. Uh, I'm not going to go to the seven here. I'm not taking Ottawa. I'm not taking Columbus. That game is just a pass for me. Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Ottawa 5-1 in the last seven meetings between the teams, which isn't too surprising. But Philadelphia 5-1-2 in their last eight games. Pittsburgh 3-7 in their last 10. Florida, Pittsburgh fighting for that final wild card spot. Pittsburgh 6-1 in the last seven meetings between themselves and their in-state rival, the Philadelphia Flyers. Um, Pittsburgh beat Philadelphia 4-1 and 5-1 this year. I won't be surprised if we see a similar type 4-1, 5-1 type game. Um, but I'm not getting involved here. Uh, Pittsburgh, with how they're playing right now, I can't justify taking them on the puck line. And Philadelphia, scrappy in most games recently, so I don't really want to go against them in this spot either. Detroit and Toronto. Toronto 9-1 in the last 10 meetings between the teams. They've covered the puck line in 8 of their last 9 wins against Detroit. So Toronto's had their way with the Red Wings. Detroit 3-3 in their last 6. Toronto 4-2-1 in their last 7 games. Um, Toronto played on Saturday night. The Red Wings did not. I took a shot with the Red Wings plus 1.5 on Friday, which did not work out. I'm not going that route in this one. Uh, it's another pass for me. I think Toronto probably wins, and they probably win by 2, but I don't want to take the puck line, which minus 111 at North Star, which means, yeah, it's minus 125, minus 130, minus up to minus 150 at other spots. So nothing there for me in this in Detroit and Toronto. New Jersey and Winnipeg. Uh, New Jersey 3-2-1 in their last 6, not including their game against Chicago. That game is currently still in play. Winnipeg 3-3 in their last 6 games. Winnipeg 9-1-1 in the last 11 games meetings against New Jersey. But you're giving me New Jersey, the best team on the road, at a really nice minus 110 price. I'm taking the Devils. Second night of a back to back or not, I like the Devils in this one. It's more of a fade of Winnipeg, but also to get the Devils at such a good price on the road. They used Blackwood against Chicago, so it should be Vanacek against Winnipeg. Uh, Despite struggling against Winnipeg for a long time, New Jersey struggled against a lot of teams for a long time, but New Jersey won the only meeting this year. I think they sweep the Jets and get the back-to-back wins against them this year in this one. Anaheim and Calgary. Uh, Calgary minus 435 favorites, total 6.5. Minus 164 for the puck line for Calgary. That's not going to be surprising where I'm going in that one, and that is passing. I'm not touching that game. Um, I don't feel like taking the Ducks, and I'm definitely not laying any kind of price like that with the Flames. So that game is ultimately a pass. The final game of Sunday night: LA Kings, Vancouver Canucks. LA Kings minus 120, the best price for them, plus 107 for the Canucks, 6.5s in that game. LA 3-2-1 in their last 6, not including their game against Seattle, which is going to be starting shortly here. Vancouver 10-2-2 in their last 14 games, coming off back-to-back overtime losses, but they still played very well in those games. The big thing for me here is LA is on the second night of a back to back, and they are coming to face a team that they have struggled against. Vancouver 9-0-1 in the last 10 meetings between the teams. Bad spot for LA against a hot Vancouver team. And I'm fading the Kings back to back nights. They've lost 2 in a row, and I think they could possibly lose 4 in a row here, which is very surprising because I didn't even think they would lose 2 in a row. But we'll see what happens against Seattle. But I'm going to be fading the Kings once again against Vancouver, a team they've struggled against for a long time. We will switch over to MLB here, and I will switch over to the MLB bet stamp page here. Detroit and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay 2-0 now. They've beat the Tigers in both games. It'll be a Wentz for Detroit, 2-2 with a 3.03 ERA last year. Springs 9-5 with a 2.46 ERA. Definitely a pitching advantage with Tampa Bay, but not a huge pitching advantage. Wentz pitched pretty well when he was on the mound last year, but I'm not taking a shot with Detroit here. I think they probably get swept by the Tampa Bay Rays. Um, Tampa Bay money line may be a good parlay piece, uh, but I think the best route for that game is the first five under four. 4.5 is minus 135, which is right at my cutoff. But both pitchers have pitched pretty well last year. I think we get a lower scoring first five, especially with the amount of runs in the game on Saturday. So I like a lower scoring first five in that one. First five under four. San Francisco and the Yankees. I took San Francisco in game one. The Yankees won. I took the Yankees in game two, and they had a really good shot to tie it and maybe take the lead in the ninth inning, but we're not able to get the job done. Now we have Ross Stripling for Toronto, for San Francisco last year in Toronto, 10-4 with a 3.01 ERA, who will be facing rookie Brito. A rookie named Brito, a last name Brito, who's obviously doesn't have any numbers yet. And that's what's making this game a pass for me. I don't know what I'm going to get from Brito. I know what I'm going to get from Stripling, but I don't. I I don't know. I've been wrong on both games in this series, so I think I'm going to pass in game three. Uh, it's just not a really good feeling for that one. Atlanta and Washington. We have Schuster, another rookie pitcher, starting for Atlanta against Mackenzie Gore for Washington, who was 4-4 last year with a 4.50 ERA. Gore definitely has a lot of potential. And if there's ever a time that I'm going to back the Washington Nationals, it will be with Gore on the mound, but not against Atlanta. Even Atlanta is a little bit already getting a few injuries here. They've taken care of business against the Nationals here, and I think they do get the win here, the third straight win here. But again, a rookie pitcher. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to get from him, so I don't feel comfortable taking the Braves on the run line. And I don't even know if I want to take the Braves in a money line parlay piece because, like I said, I am a fan of Gore. I think he has a lot of potential. But the Braves probably do win, but not super confident in that game. Baltimore and Boston, another 1-1 series. It'll be Irvin on the mound for Baltimore, 9-13 last year with Oakland 3.98 ERA. Hook for Boston, 5-4 with a 3.15 ERA. High scoring games in both meetings between these teams, in both games so far for these teams this year. So a lean with the over 9, but tomorrow is going to be a bit of a lighter day for me. Not going too crazy. Uh, lean with the over 9, but not officially getting to anything. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, another 1-1 meeting, another 1-1 record here. Velasquez for Pittsburgh, 3-3 last year with a 4.78 ERA. Ashcraft 5-6 with a 4.89 ERA. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, kind of a bum fight here, and not one that I'm going to be getting involved in. Mets and Miami. The Mets 2-1, who will be having their own rookie pitcher starting here. Asenga against Rogers for Miami, who was 4-11 last year with a 5.47 ERA. He was awful. He was awful. But he's a lefty against the Mets, and that kind of intrigues me to potentially looking at Miami. But I can't back Rogers. And looking at the Met side, rookie pitcher again, you don't know what you're going to get from him. So it's another pass for me there. Minnesota Twins, Kansas City Royals. Minnesota has won both games, 2-0 in both games so far. They will have Joe Ryan on the mound, 13-8 with a 3.55 ERA last year. Keller on the mound for Kansas City, 6-14 with a 5.09 ERA. Kansas City, back-to-back shutouts. Does Minnesota shut them out for a third consecutive game? I'm not sure. But I like the Twins to win, and I'm on the Twins on the run line, plus money. They've got the job done in both games against Kansas City, and I think they get the job done in 3 straight games. So I'll be backing the Twins on the run line for the second game in a row. White Sox and the Houston Astros. Clevenger for the White Sox, 7-7 with a 4.33 ERA last year against Garcia for Houston, 15-8 with a 3.72 ERA. This game, I think, is priced pretty correctly. I think Houston wins this game, minus 161, priced out of it on the money line. Not confident in the run line. So that game is ultimately another pass. Don't really have too much of a feeling on that one. Toronto Blue Jays, St. Louis Cardinals. My first best bet of the month of April, unfortunately lost. I took the Toronto Blue Jays on the money line. Jack Flaherty, um, he gave the Blue Jays every opportunity in the early part of the game. 6 walks and a hit batter, and Toronto was unable to score anything. It was windy, but that's no excuse. St. Louis was then able to hit Gosman. I thought Gosman, even though he allowed hits and Flaherty didn't, I thought Gosman pitched better. It's just partly luck and partly the Jays' ability to score. After such a great game in game one, offense was shut down in game two. Now we have Bassett for Toronto, 15-9 last year with a 3.42 ERA against Montgomery for St. Louis, 15-8 with a 3.72 ERA. Minus 105 for Toronto, minus 103 for St. Louis. I think that's priced correctly. I think this is a pick'em game. I think it's a pick'em game, and I'm not quite sure where to go. I'm gonna back the Blue Jays one more time because they are my team, but I'm not going to recommend you to bet on them because I did not like what I saw yesterday. Bassett didn't really have the best spring training either. I think there's a pitching advantage with Montgomery. I think first 5, I think you go St. Louis, first 5, but I think Toronto has a good chance of coming back and getting the upset win afterwards. Milwaukee and the Cubs. Lauer for Milwaukee, Jameson Taillon for the Cubs. 14-5 last year with a 3.91 ERA for Jameson Taillon. Lauer 11-7 with a 3.69 ERA. The Cubs favored in this one. I stayed off the Cubs in game one. I bet the Cubs in game two. Kind of the same thing with San Francisco and the Yankees, where I was on the wrong side for both games. And this time, I'm going to go with the bet that's not available yet, which will be available in the morning, and that's the Cubs first 5 money line. I think it's a good spot to back them in the first 5, and then not have to worry about bullpens. Angels and Oakland Athletics in this one. Anderson for the Angels, who pitched with the Dodgers last year, 15-5 with a 2.57 ERA. Waldichuk for Oakland, 2-2 with a 4.93 ERA. The Angels lost game one, but took it to Oakland in game two and destroyed them. It was a beatdown. And I kind of expect more of the same in this next game. I think Angels probably win by multiple runs. But I'm not comfortable getting involved in that game. As I said, going a little bit lower volume here on Sunday. So that game is ultimately pass. Arizona and the LA Dodgers. Davies on the mound for Arizona, 2-5 last year with a 4.09 ERA. Syndergaard for the Dodgers, 10-10 with a 3.94 ERA. It's kind of funny. Syndergaard um, and Anderson switched teams. Syndergaard was with the Angels, and um, Anderson was with the Dodgers. So that's kind of funny how they kind of switched teams in the same state. But that's funny. In this one here, I think the Dodgers win. So Dodgers money line, a good parlay piece. I most likely will be on the Dodgers on the run line as well, but nothing officially at this moment. Gonna have to see how the game finishes with them here Saturday night. They believe had a 5-2 lead the last time I looked. So that game is a lean for me right now with the Dodgers run line, but haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. Colorado and San Diego. Gomber for Colorado, 5-7 with a 5.56 ERA. Lugo for San Diego, 3-2 with a 3.6 ERA. Another game where I'm not confident in either side. Would be a lean with the over 8 here, but nothing officially at this moment. Bogarts to get a hit, which he's done now in all 3 games for San Diego. I'll be back on that once again tomorrow in a parlay. But other than that, at this moment, nothing else officially. Cleveland and Seattle, Quantrill against Gonzalez. Quantrill 15-5 last year with a 3.38 ERA. Gonzalez 10-15 with a 4.13 ERA. Gonzalez a lefty, Quantrill a righty. While I do think Cleveland does have the pitching advantage, Cleveland struggles against lefties. And Gonzalez is a lefty. Again, it's another game. I got to see how it finishes Saturday night, but most likely I'll be on Seattle full game at the fair price there. I do want to see how they play inside here tonight, but we'll be looking towards the Seattle Mariners here with Gonzalez. Going to go full game instead of first 5 because I do like that Gonzalez is a lefty, but I do think there's a pitching advantage with Quantrill. So it's -110 each way. I can totally see it being tied. So there'll definitely be there'll be no value on the plus a half a run. So that game it'll be Seattle full game money line or pass on the final game of the night. And it's interesting that this is the final game that I'll be breaking down because it's where my best bet is involved in. We have Philadelphia plus 108, Texas -117, 8.5s and 9s, depending where you look. Falter on the mound for Philadelphia, who's lost both games to Texas, 6-4 with a 3.86 ERA against Martin Perez, 12-8 last year with a 2.89 ERA for Texas. Texas's offense has looked really good so far this year. 2-0. They continue to beat the Philadelphia Phillies, 11-0 in the last 11 meetings. And now we have, I think, a pitching mismatch here between Perez and Falter. I'm taking Texas on the money line, and my best bet is going to be Texas on the run line, plus 168. I think that is absolutely great value. And I think they continue to take it to the Phillies. For some reason, they just play so well against the Phillies. And that's where I'm going to go, is the Texas Rangers -1.5 for plus 168. And that is the show for Sunday. If you want to put your best bet in, feel free. We did have some people obviously put best bets in for Saturday. I will go over on Monday what happened on the weekend and get everybody caught up on Monday. But that is today's show. Best of luck on your bets for Sunday, and we'll see you again Normal live show, 12:30 p.m. Eastern on Monday. Best of luck, everybody.